Streets here in Williamson County of Tennessee. This is the wealthiest county in the entire state. This is where all the money is made, and this is where I am the king of corporate. So we're gonna answer some questions I got in the comment section of a video I recently made as I was talking about how I've now been at my new corporate position for 5 weeks now, and how I've been growing out my hair from a zero guard buzz cut to now having my first haircut. Of course, we've been learning a lot about how lighting affects how my hair looks, but not to be misleading, but I think it's important that I show my hair in the worst of light and then also in the best of light in the house, and let you decide in between what reality is. But by only showing it in the same light, that's unfair to you. Now, let's get to the comments. I had Wings K ask, quote, "Why did you get a new job?" And I also had our good friend Turtle Slayer, Turtle Man, quote, "Are you doing the same thing you did at your last job?" End quote. So I want to answer those questions. I think it's important. I think it's somewhat hilarious that I've been at my new job for 5 weeks and this hasn't really come up yet. What do I actually do for a living? What am I actually doing in that building? Have you ever thought about that? Like, oh yeah, this is a real person that has an education, an experience, and he makes money in that building somehow. What does he do? So I will answer that. I work in HR. That's what I do. I know it can be hard to imagine based on the version of reality that you think that I live in, but I'm in HR, and there's some decent money to be made in that. And my college degree is in English. So if you're trying to figure out what you should do for college, get an English degree and then go into HR, recruiting, that sort of thing. There's a lot of work that goes in behind hiring people and onboarding them. And that's what I'm actually doing. Because in the age of the internet, there is a high demand for people like me who have the skill set and the background to be able to know what is good at placing people with jobs. And there's a whole network going on with that didn't exist until recently. So it's anytime you look at basically the highest paying jobs in demand going on right now, typically in the top 10 list, recruiting is what you're going to find. That's actually the title, but it's actually HR more than anything. And I've got HR training that I went to school for as well after I finished college. So that's what I do. To answer the question of why did I get a new job, I'm happy to answer that as well. Now, many of you recall that for 6 months I was a stay-at-home dad, and I was just focused on my videos and my blog, and I still do all that. But ultimately, when this job came open to me, I realized there was an $18,000 a year increase compared to the job I was working doing the same thing, which was this HR recruiting thing. So an $18,000 a year increase, because to have gone back to work for just the same amount of money, we were saving so much money by me staying home with the kids that it didn't really make sense to go back to work at that point. But with an $18,000 pay increase, it absolutely made sense, and that's the reason why I went back at work. So just to put this in perspective, here's what's going on. I am currently working at a job that is basically a more complicated, faster paced version of what I was doing that pays $18,000 more than I was when I worked at the other place. I also have this channel, which makes me on average $250 a month. And then I have my other YouTube channel, Family Friendly Daddy Blog, which is almost at 1,000 subscribers. And when that happens, I'll be making about $250 per month off of that. So in addition to that, I have a side job that I do at night, which is SEO. It's basically helping a university make more money by making sure their name and their brand is more visible online. I'm not exaggerating when I tell you that depending on what minute of the day we're talking about, there are minutes of my day, there are a couple hours of my day, especially when they overlap, where I'm making about $1 a minute just by existing. Between my full-time job, my YouTube videos, and my side job that I do at night. So, and then I've got my blog as well, Family Friendly Daddy Blog, which people pay me to do articles on there because it gets the name out. So I'm an HR guy who does SEO, search engine optimization, and then I've got the YouTube videos. And of course, my wife works full time. So this is a time in my life where I've never had access to so much money in my life, but because I'm smarter than most people, instead of buying that Wrangler that I want, instead we're doing our best to just pay off the house as soon as possible, because once you pay off your house, we're already debt free. So once we can pay off that house, then that money can go into investments. There's a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It's very much a part of my identity. It's about getting ahead in life by paying off all your debts, paying off your mortgage, then investing all that money that you're bringing in, especially while you're making good money like I am at this stage of my life. I don't know how much longer this is going to last. How long can I keep all these things going? How long will these opportunities last? I don't know. But I will keep taking advantage of them as long as I can. It means I get a lot less sleep, and it means my only hobbies make me money, which for anyone wondering why I'm so obsessed about making these hair loss videos, it's because it's making me a lot of money in conjunction with everything else. Because I'm literally making money while I sleep based on the money from these videos, all my other stuff I do. So I have a full-time job, and then but I also make often $1 a minute, even sometimes while I'm sleeping. So thanks for asking, because behind all these hair loss videos is a real human being.